Hello everyone. Today we are going to see the topic motivation in organization psychology. In this, what we call as motivation. Motivation is the intensity, direction, and persistence of the goal. Intensity is the how hard we are working. Direction, the pathway that we are choosing, and consistency to attain a goal. Then next, moving on to the types of motivation. Yes, types of motivation is divided into intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. So, intrinsic motivation refers to the behavior that is derived by internal rewards. In other words, the motivation to engage in a behavior arises from within the individual because it is naturally satisfying you. For example, taking on more responsibility at work. Here, the external factor is not motivating, only the internal process making the individuals to attain a goal. Next is extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation means motivational stimuli are coming from outside. In other words, our desires to perform a task are controlled by an outside source. Here, for the desire of outcome, we are working towards it. For example, the money, bonus, benefit package, organized activities. Next, the topic is theory of motivation. Here is the content theory. Content theory are also called need theory because they are generally associated with view that concentrates on the importance of determining what motivates us. In other words, they try to identify what our needs are and relate motivation to the fulfilling of the needs. Here, the content theory is the needed theory. We can see that the needed theory is divided into Maslow's hierarchy of need theory, then ERG theory, which is existence, then relatedness and growth needs. Then we can say McLean's need theory, which is need for achievement, need for affiliation, and need for power. Then from the management assumption, the theories theory X and theory Y. Then another theory is Hensberg two-factor theory. Now first move into the need theory, which is Maslow's hierarchical theory. In Maslow's, he divided the motivation factor in a hierarchical order. First, which is a physiological need, safety need, social need, esteem need, and self-actualization need. In this need theory, it says that once the lower need is satisfied, the individual move on to the higher need. Here he describes physiological need as hunger, thirst, shelter, sex, and other bodily needs, and safety need as security and protection from physiological and emotional harm. Then social need is affection, belongingness, and friendship. Then esteem, which is an internal factor such as self-respect, autonomy, achievement, and external factors such as status, recognition, and attention. Then final stage is self-actualization, which is derived to become what we are capable of becoming, includes growth, achieving our potential, and self-fulfillment. From this, we describe that the physiological need, which is the basic need of the human beings like food, shelter. Then move on to the safety need. Once the physiological need is satisfied, then people will move on to the security. Then next is which is the relatedness. Once the basic need of this two gained, then people interact with others. Then once the interaction are made, then we will move on to the esteem, which they will expect others to give self respect. Then finally he will end into the what is his or her capability. So this was the Maslow said. Then the needs are arranged in order from strongest to weakest. Lower needs must be least partially satisfied before higher needs become influential. So here they say is the lower needs which act as a motivator for hiring of the needs. Then Maslow called lower needs are deficit, or deficiency need, which is failure to satisfy them, produce deficit or lack in the individual. He defined the three like physiology and safety needs were deficiency needs, because when there is a lack, so that we have to gain the physiological and safety needs. Then Maslow's called social esteem and self-actualizing need as higher needs, which is also called as growth needs. Next, moving on to this, satisfaction of higher needs lead to contentment, happiness, and fulfillment. In this, the human, when they attain the higher needs, which is a self-actualization, then the people will become happy. And the application of this theory is physiological need, basic issues of survival such as salary and stable employment, and then security need as stable physical and emotional environment issues such as benefit pension, safe work environment, and fair work practices. In this, when we are applying to the organization, the first physiology is salary, then security is like pension, then belongingness, which is we are cooperating with the co-workers like friendship. That is what belongingness tells. Then esteem need is positive self-image and respect and recognition issues such as job titles, nice work space, and prestige job assignment. In the self-esteem need, the employee must seek to attain the appreciation from the higher authorities. Yes. Then self-actualization, it is defining the employees fully attain the what is his or her capabilities to do in the work. Then finally, the limitation of this theory is needs do not necessarily follow a hierarchy. See, the Maslow said it is in hierarchical order, but according to the people, the hierarchy will varies. Yes, the theory is difficult to test. Next, two-factor theory. This theory is also called the motivation hygiene theory of the dual factor theory, was proposed by Frederick Herzberg in 1959. He was interested in people motivation and job satisfaction. Conducted research by asking a group of people about their good and bad experience in work. Here, Hensberg correlating the motivation and job satisfaction, and for this, they are conducting the experiments for the group of people in the organization. Based on this, he developed the theory that people's job satisfaction depends on two kinds of factors, factors for satisfaction and factors for dissatisfaction. Here, the satisfaction factor, which is also called motivating or motivators or satisfier, and for dissatisfaction, he called hygiene factor or dissatisfier. Let's we will discuss deep about this, which is intrinsic factor such as performance, recognition, job status, responsibility, and opportunities for growth seem related to the job satisfaction. Here we said that the motivators are the intrinsic factors, which is defining that in employees recognition, job status, responsibilities. Again, what are the dissatisfier? He says these are the extrinsic factors like salary, secondary working condition, relationship with colleagues, relationship between supervisor and employee. Hence, Hensberg suggests that opposite of satisfaction is dissatisfaction, is not dissatisfaction, and was traditionally believed. Therefore, managers who seek to eliminate factors that can create job dissatisfaction may bring about peace but do not necessarily motivate. They will be placing rather than motivating their worker. Here, Hensberg characterized conditions such as quality of supervision, pay, company policies, physical working condition, relationship with other, and job security as hygiene factor. This hygiene factor symbolizes the physiological needs. Then pay, company policies, interpersonal relationship, job security, physical working condition. These are the motivating factors which is leading the positive satisfaction of the employees, which is motivating the employees for good performance. Then employees find these factors intrinsically rewarding. This motivators employees to the physiological needs like recognition, responsibilities, and opportunities for growth. Yes, here job dissatisfaction and satisfaction is influenced. Here, job dissatisfaction is influenced by hygiene factors like working condition, co-workers relations, policies and rules, supervisor qualities, base wage, salary. Then job satisfaction is influenced by motivation factors such as achievement, recognition, responsibility, work in itself, advancement, personal growth. Here he is talking about improving the motivation factor to increase your job satisfaction and improve the hygiene factor to decrease the job satisfaction. Here he is telling about the motivating factor act as a job increasing of the job satisfaction of the employee, and hygiene factor is preventing the job dissatisfaction. Then application of this theory is manager must focus on guaranteeing the adequacy of the hygiene factor to avoid employee dissatisfaction. Managers must make sure that the work is stimulating and rewarding. This theory emphasizes upon job enrichment so as to motivate the employees. Focusing on the motivational factor can improve the work quality. Rather than focusing on the hygiene factor, here we are focusing on motivational factor can improve the quality of the employees, and it also enrich the job and also which act as a stimulating and rewarding. Then limitation of the Hansberg theory is it is um, there is no reliability and validity of this method, and this methodology is limited because only a small group of people from the organization is taken and it is generalized. Yes, then Hensberg assumed a relationship between satisfaction and productivity, but the researcher conduct first focus on satisfaction and ignored productivity. Majorly the Hensberg first focus on the productivity, but finally, he is focusing only on the satisfaction, then ignore the. Next, we move on to the next theory, which is McGraw's X and Y theory, which is proposed by Douglas McGraw. He distinguishes the motivation into X and Y theory, which is based upon the organizational view. In organizational view, X theory is the negative view and Y is act as a positive view. The view based on assumption about employee motivation by the organization. Now, X theory assumption is employees inherently dislike the work, fail to take responsibility, lack of interest, don't take initiatives, but wait for orders. In X theory, the organization assumed the employees are disliking the works and they never take responsibilities and showing their lack of interest and they never start up. So they in this they were putting the employees down and management up. Then why theory here the assumption is employees view work as natural as play or rest or self-directed, and employees are responsible. Employees can be creative if motivated properly. In Y theory, we can see that they are putting the employees upward, in which means the employees they are telling that they were more responsible, self-directed, and can be creative. Then moving on to the next theory, which is McClelland's theory of needs. It was proposed by David McClelland. In this, here the need was described into three types, which is need for achievement, need for power, and need for affiliation. Here, the strongest needs motivates to act in order to satisfy those needs. Here, the need for achievement. A person with need for achievement act as a strong need to set and accomplish goals, tries to perform better than their competitors, solves complex problems, creates out challenging assignments successfully, develop a better way of doing things. Here, the employees who are need for achievement, they will have the strongest need to accomplish the goal and have better performance than their competitors. Then they will take their complex problems and solve easily and successfully. Here, they will do the things more than better than others. Next, the need for affiliation. Here, the need for affiliation talks about a person with who have an argue for a friendly and supportive environment, enjoys spending time with others, and they are sociable. Here, they are talking that the employees who are asking for need for affiliation, they were more likely to participate in the teamwork. They will never be alone to work, and they were most friendly and they will create the supportive environment. And also they will spend enjoying spending time with others, and they are more sociable. Next, which is need for power. A person with need for power influence people to change their attitudes or behavior, control people and activities, gain control over information and resources. Here, the need for power talks about the people who are in the need for power influence the other people, and here they want to be the leader, and others should be the downwards than them. Then they will control the people and activity. Here, this theory talking about the need, we have to give the job according to the needs, like for achievement and for affiliation and for power. Once we recognize the correct need, then we will fit the job into. Now, moving on to the next theory, which is a process theory. Here, it is exploring how a behavior is caused, sustained, or stopped by motivational factor. In this, we are going to see Bloom's expectancy model. In this theory, here the Bloom's talks about the strength of the tendency to act in a certain way depends on the strength of an expectation that the act will be followed by given outcome and the attractiveness of the outcome. Then the expectation of the outcome plus attractiveness of the outcome leads to tendency to act in a way. Here, Bloom talks that give the importance to the behavior outcomes, which is the expectation of the outcomes and how the attractiveness of the outcomes. In this, here Bloom's theory, the outcome is which is effort, performance. Then finally we reach into the outcomes, which is the act as the motivating factor. Here he defined expectancy as perceived probability that effort will lead to good performance. Then instrumentality as perceived probability that good performance will lead to desired outcome. Then valence is value of expected outcome to the individual. Here, expectancy is affected by resources, skills possessed, and the support of others. Then, instrumentality is affected by clear understanding of the relationship between performance and outcome. Then, trust in people by whom outcome can be achieved. Then, finally, transparency of process leading to outcome. And individual exerts effort on considering whether the effort leads to better performance. Good performance will help him reach the outcome. Outcome is desirable and satisfy his personal goals. Here, the valency expectance theory motivation is divided into expectancy. Will my effort lead to high performance or instrumentality? Will performance lead to outcomes? Then, which is balance? Do I find the outcomes desirable? Then, this was the reference. Thank you.